Did you know that some of the healthiest foods on the planet could actually be spiking your blood pressure right now? I'm not talking about junk food. I'm talking about fruit, the very thing doctors have told us to eat more of our entire lives. Here's the problem. If you're over 50 and taking blood pressure medication, certain fruits can interfere with your medication, cause dangerous potassium buildup, spike your blood sugar, and yes, actually raise your blood pressure. Today, I'm revealing the 7 fruits you need to be cautious with, including one that affects how your body processes medication for 3 full days after you eat it. Stick around because this information could literally save your life. All right, let's start with number 7. This one might be sitting in your pantry right now. Fruit number 7, canned fruit in syrup. Canned fruit seems like a convenient option. It's shelf-stable, easy to open, and requires no preparation. Many people over 50 keep canned fruit in their pantry for quick snacks or desserts. And honestly, it feels healthy, right? It's fruit. But here's what's really inside that can. Canned fruit is often packed in heavy syrup, which is essentially liquid sugar. A single serving of canned peaches in syrup can contain up to 20 grams of added sugar. That's about 5 teaspoons of sugar in one small bowl. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar per day for women and 9 for men. One serving of canned peaches puts most women over their daily limit. When you consume that much sugar, your blood sugar spikes. Your body releases insulin. Insulin causes your kidneys to retain sodium. Sodium retention leads to fluid retention. And fluid retention increases blood volume, which raises blood pressure. But wait, there's more. Many canned fruits also contain added sodium. Yes, salt. It's used as a preservative. So you're getting a double hit. Sugar and salt, both of which can raise blood pressure. A major study published in a leading epidemiology journal followed 65,000 adults for several years. The findings were striking. People who ate 2-3 servings of fresh fruit daily had a 10% lower risk of death. But people who ate canned fruit regularly had a 17% higher risk of premature death. Now, this doesn't prove canned fruit directly causes death. But researchers are clear. The added sugar and sodium in canned fruit pose real risks for blood pressure and heart disease. One researcher involved in the study stated that most canned fruit contains high sugar levels and cheaper varieties are packed in syrup. The negative health impacts of the sugar may well outweigh any benefits. And here's something else. The canning process destroys heat-sensitive nutrients like vitamin C, so you're getting less nutrition and more sugar. Some cans also contain BPA in their lining. BPA is an endocrine disruptor that may affect blood pressure regulation. Choose fresh fruit whenever possible. If you must buy canned, look for fruit packed in water or natural juice, not syrup. Now on to number 6. This next fruit is often considered a health food, but it deserves a closer look, especially if you take medication. Fruit number 6. Cantaloupe and Honeydew melon. These melons are beautiful, refreshing, and taste like summer. They're rich in vitamins A and C. They're naturally sweet. Many people add them to fruit salads or enjoy them as a cool snack on hot days. So why are they on this list? One word: potassium. Cantaloupe and honeydew are extremely high in potassium. A single cup of cantaloupe contains about 430 milligrams of potassium. Honeydew has even more, about 400 milligrams per cup. Now, you've probably heard that potassium is good for blood pressure. And that's true. Potassium helps balance sodium and relaxes blood vessel walls. For most people, more potassium is better. But here's where it gets complicated. If you're taking certain blood pressure medications, high potassium foods can become a problem. When you eat high potassium foods while on these medications, potassium can build up in your blood to dangerous levels. This condition has a medical name: hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia might not cause symptoms at first, But as potassium levels rise, you may experience muscle weakness, numbness, tingling, or nausea. In severe cases, it can cause irregular heartbeat and even cardiac arrest. The American Heart Association warns that hyperkalemia can be life-threatening, especially for older adults. If you're on potassium-altering medications, talk to your doctor about your potassium levels. Get them checked regularly. And when it comes to melons, think small portions, occasional treat rather than daily staple. A few small cubes in a fruit salad is very different from eating half a melon every day. For your daily fruit intake, consider lower potassium options like apples, berries, grapes, or peaches. Now for number 5. This fruit is a breakfast staple in millions of homes around the world. Fruit number 5. Bananas. Bananas are everywhere. They're convenient, portable, and naturally sweet. People have been eating bananas for thousands of years. And yes, they have real health benefits, potassium, vitamin B6, and fiber. But here's what most people don't know. For people over 50 with high blood pressure, the ripeness of your banana matters a lot. Let me explain the science. Green bananas and barely ripe bananas contain something called resistant starch. This is a special type of fiber that feeds the good bacteria in your gut. Those good bacteria help with digestion, immunity, and even brain function. Resistant starch also has a minimal effect on blood sugar. But as bananas ripen, something changes. The resistant starch gradually breaks down into natural sugars, glucose, fructose, and sucrose. That's why a spotted brown banana tastes much sweeter than a green one. That sweetness comes from sugar. A fully ripe banana can have up to 16 grams of sugar. That's about 4 teaspoons of sugar in one piece of fruit. When you eat that much sugar quickly, your blood sugar spikes. Your body releases insulin. And as we discussed earlier, insulin spikes can lead to sodium retention and higher blood pressure. But there's another concern with bananas. Remember our discussion about potassium? Bananas are famous for being high in potassium, about 375-420 milligrams per medium banana. For someone on ACE inhibitors, ARBs, or potassium-sparing diuretics, eating multiple bananas daily could contribute to potassium buildup. One study published in a hypertension journal noted that while bananas generally help lower blood pressure, patients on potassium-altering medications should monitor their intake carefully. Here's something else to consider. Banana smoothies have become incredibly popular. People blend bananas with other fruits, yogurt, and milk. But a single smoothie might contain 2 or even 3 bananas. That's 40+ grams of sugar and 800+ milligrams of potassium in one drink. For someone on medication, that's a significant load. If you eat bananas, eat them when they're less ripe, still slightly green at the ends. You'll get more resistant starch and less sugar. The glycemic load is lower. Limit yourself to 1 small banana per day, especially if you're on potassium-altering medications. And if you have kidney issues, definitely talk to your doctor before eating bananas regularly. Fruit number 4, grapefruit. Grapefruit has a well-deserved reputation as a healthy food. It's packed with vitamin C, potassium, and powerful antioxidants. Many people eat grapefruit for breakfast or drink grapefruit juice to start their day. But grapefruit has a dark side that every person over 50 needs to understand. Here's what happens inside your body when you eat grapefruit. Grapefruit contains natural compounds called furanocoumarins. These compounds block a crucial enzyme in your small intestine. The enzyme's name is CY3A4, and its job is to break down many common medications. Think of CYP3A4 as a security guard. Its job is to regulate how much medication enters your bloodstream. It breaks down a portion of the drug so the dose you receive is safe and controlled. When grapefruit blocks this enzyme, the security guard goes off duty. Suddenly, much more medication passes into your blood. In some cases, drug levels can increase by 5 to 10 times what your doctor intended. This might sound like a good thing. More medication, better effect, right? Wrong. Too much medication in your blood is dangerous. It can cause your blood pressure to drop too low, a condition called hypotension. You might feel dizzy, lightheaded, or even faint. In severe cases, it can lead to kidney damage or dangerous heart rhythms. Here's what makes grapefruit uniquely dangerous. The effect doesn't go away quickly. The enzyme inhibition can last 24 to 72 hours. So you can't just take your medication at a different time than you eat grapefruit. If you eat grapefruit on Monday, it could affect your medication on Tuesday or even Wednesday. Research published in the Canadian Medical Association Journal identified more than 85 drugs that can interact with grapefruit. Of those, 43 can cause serious side effects. And it's not just grapefruit. Pomelo, also known as, contains the same furanocoumarins and poses the same risks. Seville oranges used in marmalade have a similar effect. Fruit number 3. Oranges and orange juice. Oranges are beautiful, bright, and full of vitamin C. Orange juice is a breakfast tradition in millions of homes. It feels healthy. It's marketed as healthy. And in many ways it is. But for people over 50 with high blood pressure, especially those on medication, oranges and orange juice need a closer look. Here's why, and there are multiple reasons. Reason 1. The fiber problem. When you eat a whole orange, you get about 3 grams of fiber. That fiber slows down sugar absorption. It feeds good gut bacteria. It helps you feel full. When you drink orange juice, you get almost no fiber. A typical glass of orange juice comes from 3 or 4 oranges, all their sugar, but none of their fiber. That glass of juice contains about 20-25 grams of sugar. That's 5 to 6 teaspoons. Without fiber, your body absorbs that sugar rapidly. Your blood sugar spikes, insulin surges. And as we've discussed, insulin spikes can lead to sodium retention and higher blood pressure. Reason 2. The medication connection. Here's something most people don't know. Orange juice can affect how your body absorbs certain beta blockers. Beta blockers are commonly prescribed for high blood pressure and heart conditions. Research has shown that orange juice can reduce the absorption of these medications by up to 40 to 50%. That means you're getting less medication than you need. Your blood pressure may not be adequately controlled. The compounds in orange juice block drug transporters in your intestine the same way grapefruit blocks enzymes, but through a different mechanism. Eat whole oranges rather than drinking orange juice. You'll get the fiber, which slows sugar absorption and provides other health benefits. If you take beta blockers, separate your medication and orange juice by at least 4 hours. Fruit number 2. Dried fruit with added sugar. This one requires careful explanation because not all dried fruit is created equal. Let me start with the good news. Plain dried fruit with no added sugar can be quite healthy. Raisins, dried apricots, prunes, and dates in their natural form contain fiber, vitamins, and antioxidants. A number of studies have found that unsweetened dried fruit in moderation can support healthy blood pressure. Prunes, for example, contain potassium and antioxidants that may help lower blood pressure. So why is dried fruit on this list? Because most dried fruit sold in stores is not just dried fruit. Here's what happens in food manufacturing. Take cranberries as an example. Fresh cranberries are so sour that most people don't enjoy eating them plain. So manufacturers add massive amounts of sugar to make them palatable. Some dried cranberry products contain more added sugar than actual cranberry. You're essentially eating sugar-coated fruit. Then there's candied fruit, also called crystallized fruit. This includes glaced cherries, candied ginger, and crystallized lemon peel. These are popular in baked goods, fruit cakes, and as snack items. Here's how candied fruit is made. Fresh fruit is boiled in sugar syrup. The water in the fruit is gradually replaced with sugar. For reference, 2 lemons made into crystallized lemon require about 1 cup of sugar. The fruit absorbs that sugar. What you're left with is fruit infused with concentrated sugar. Let me give you some numbers. A 100-gram serving of glaced cherries contains about 68 grams of carbohydrates, mostly sugar. Compare that to 100 grams of fresh cherries, which contain about 19 grams of sugar. That's more than triple the sugar. A 100-gram serving of dried mango with added sugar contains about 65 grams of sugar. Fresh mango has about 14 grams per 100 grams. Again, more than quadruple the sugar. And many candied and sweetened dried fruits contain high fructose corn syrup instead of regular sugar. High fructose corn syrup has been linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and yes, high blood pressure. Research has shown that high fructose corn syrup may raise blood pressure more than regular sugar. It may also increase triglycerides, a type of fat that contributes to heart disease. Fruit number 1, lychee. Lychee, known as in Chinese, is a sweet, fragrant fruit native to Southeast Asia but now enjoyed worldwide. It's refreshing, delicious, and often eaten fresh or used in desserts and drinks. And it presents unique risks for people with high blood pressure, especially those over 50. Let me explain the two distinct concerns with lychee. Concern 1, high sugar content. Lychee is naturally high in sugar. A 100-gram serving, about 5 to 6 lychees, contains approximately 15 grams of sugar. That's about 4 teaspoons. For people with diabetes or pre-diabetes, conditions that often accompany high blood pressure, this sugar load can spike blood glucose. And as we've discussed, blood sugar spikes lead to insulin release, sodium retention, and higher blood pressure. But here's where it gets more serious. Concern 2, the hypoglycemia risk. This might sound contradictory. How can a fruit cause both high blood sugar and low blood sugar? Here's the science. Unripe or semi-ripe lychee contains natural toxins called hypoglycin A and methylinecyclopropylglycine. Let's call it MCPG for short. These compounds interfere with the body's ability to produce glucose. They block a key process called gluconeogenesis, the creation of new sugar in the body. When eaten on an empty stomach, especially in large amounts, these toxins can cause blood sugar to drop dangerously low. This is called hypoglycemia. This phenomenon has been well documented in medical literature. In India and Vietnam, outbreaks of acute encephalitis, brain inflammation, were traced back to lychee consumption. Children in areas with malnutrition would eat large amounts of lychee on empty stomachs and develop severe hypoglycemia, leading to seizures and brain damage. Now, for well-nourished adults over 50, this specific risk is lower. But it's not zero. Here's why it matters for blood pressure. If you take diabetes medication that already lowers blood sugar, eating lychee on an empty stomach could compound that effect. Your blood sugar could drop too low. And here's the blood pressure connection. When blood sugar drops too low, your body releases stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones spike your blood pressure temporarily. Your heart races. You feel shaky. For someone with hypertension, these spikes can be dangerous. Additionally, the rapid rise and fall of blood sugar from ripe lychee, spike followed by crash, also stresses the cardiovascular system. First, always eat lychee after a meal, never on an empty stomach. Food in your stomach slows absorption and provides glucose to balance any effects. Second, limit yourself to 5-6 lychees at a time. Moderation is key. Third, make sure the lychee is fully ripe. The toxin levels are highest in unripe fruit. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these fruits surprised you most? Had you ever heard about the grapefruit medication interaction before? Did you know about the potassium risk with cantaloupe and blood pressure medication? Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Your questions might inspire our next video. And when you comment, you're also helping other viewers who have the same questions. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It tells YouTube that this content matters, and it helps more people discover this potentially life-saving information.